Okay, so I might need to mute you. I think your background is a bit noisy. Okay, so today, just like I said, this trending market is actually an important aspect of the market structure. It's a topic I love to teach so much. Trust me, because major markets, a lot of us prefer to actually trade trending markets compared to other types of markets we've mentioned in the past. So let's write trending markets. Trending markets, just like the name implies, trending market, just as the name implies, are markets that are characterized with a repeating pattern. With a repeating pattern. This is a market that is characterized with a repeating pattern of either heading up, or heading down. It's a market that is characterized by repeating pattern of either heading up or heading down. Full stop. When it's heading up, you say it's an uptrend. When it's heading up, we say it's an uptrend. And when it's heading down, we say it's a downtrend. And when it's heading down, we say it's a downtrend. In other words, we have both the uptrend and the downtrend. In other words, we have both the uptrend or the downtrend. Full stop. Notes. Write this note. An uptrend is different from a downtrend because an uptrend is different from a downtrend. Write it. Notes. An uptrend is different from a downtrend because it keeps creating a series of higher highs. It's on the screen. It keeps creating a series of higher highs. Like then something keeps going higher. So higher highs. In front of that, you can put in bracket HH. That's what you'll be seeing on the chart. And a series of higher lows. That is, something is an uptrend when it keeps creating higher highs and higher lows. Full stop. That's an uptrend. So in bracket, you can still put uptrend. That's the first characteristic of an uptrend. It creates a series of higher highs and higher lows. While a downtrend keeps creating a series of lower highs. So the screen, lower highs and lower lows. Full stop. Are we there, sir? So let me explain what we've written so far. So what we're trying to say is that in a trending market, one of the things about a trending market is not complicated. When you look at the chart, you'll be able to tell whether the market is heading up straight or is heading down. Now, one of the ways it's heading up is that it keeps creating what we call higher highs. That is, the market is going higher than where it stopped before. Imagine compared to you moving from a ground floor to a fifth floor. No, from the floor to the first floor, you just went high. When you move from the first floor to the second floor, you even went higher. That's why we said higher high. If you move from the second floor to the third floor, what happened? You created another high that was higher than the previous high point you had. Third floor to fifth, another higher highs. That's what makes it an uptrend. The same thing, the downtrend, the market is going lower. It's like you coming from a fifth floor to the fourth floor. You just went low. If you go again to the third floor, you went lower. That's why we said it creates a series of lower highs and low. All right. That's one thing about the trending market. Now, I know a lot of people expect that the market either goes straight down or goes straight up. It doesn't work that way, right? So write this down, sir. Note, market would always move. No, the market would always move in a wave-like manner. The market would always move in a wave-like manner during a trending market. The market would always move in a wave-like manner during a trending market. Would always move in a wave-like manner during a trending market. Full stop. So what am I saying, essence? Look at what I'm trying to draw here on the screen. Now, this is looking like a wave, is it not? But the most important thing I wanted you to note was, look at these arrows. I indicated something here. This market moved all the way up from this same ground floor, right? But the market will not go up straight. At the end of the day, if you look at this wave, it also moved from the same ground floor. And at the end of the day, it's also at this same top where this arrow got to. In other words, it didn't just move straight. Just because we said, oh, we are heading up, it's an uptrend. It didn't just go straight. It went in a wave. It will run and rest, move, rest, move, rest. At the end of the day, it still landed at the top. That is how the market moves. All right. So let's write. No, you will always find a trending market. You will always find a trending market about 30 to 40% of the time. About 30 to 40% of the time. About 30 to 40% of the time. That's to tell you that, out of 100 that makes up the market, we have the range. Range is about 60% of the time. Now you have opportunity to trade a trending market about 30 to 40. So let's say 30 to 35 on the average, meaning you don't want to lose about 30% of the time to make money. So what it means is then you need to really know how to get into this market. But before we go into how to even trade, which is not a topic for today, it's a separate topic. What are those things that you can see that lets you know that this market is trending? So let's write this down. Characteristics of a trending market. Are you there? So let's write number one. Number one characteristics of a trending market. Every trend has two moves. Every trend has two moves. Every trend has two moves. Every trend has two moves, comma. The first move is known as the major move. Major. When you say something is, in the university, when you say something is major, it's like the main deal. That's the real cocoa, right? Not the borrowed one. So it's the major move, or another name we call it impulsive move. Impulsive. Please check it on the screen. So that first move is called the major move or the impulsive move. While the second move is known as the pullback, is also on the screen. Pullback or retracement move. Retracement move. Or you can also use this word, resting move. When the body's at rest. So, two types of move, whether it's an uptrend or a downtrend, each of them must have the major move and the pullback move, right? So what differentiates the two? Now, still let's write that. The impulsive move is the move that goes in the direction of the trend. The impulsive move is the move that goes in the direction of the trend. The impulsive move is the move that goes in the direction of the trend. While the pullback move is the move that goes opposite of the impulsive move, is the opposite of the impulsive move. The pullback or retracement, like we call it, is the move that goes the opposite of the impulsive move, full stop. Now let me explain it this way. So remember, sir, we said we have either the uptrend or downtrend, is it not? Now, who are the people that push the prices up? I think I might need to unmute you. Who are the people that push the prices up? Buyers. Good. So meaning that in an uptrend, the direction of the market is up, right? So what it means is, because the direction of the market is up, then the impulsive move in an uptrend will be the buyers. Why? Because the buyers are the ones that are pushing the price up. Does that make sense, sir? In an uptrend, our goal is to go up. So the buyers or the buy move is what makes up impulsive move. Now, we said the pullback move is the move that goes opposite of the impulsive move. So what's going to be the pullback move in an uptrend? Buy or sell?
What's going to be what?
We said the pullback move is the move that is opposite of the major move. So now we already know that the major move is the buy. So what is the opposite of the buy? Sell.
Sell.
Good. So what we are simply trying to say is, in an uptrend, even though the direction is facing up, even though our goal is to buy, we will always find buyers and sellers in that uptrend, because one of them is going to be the major move and the other one is going to be the pullback move. Do I make sense? Imagine we were in a downtrend too. In a downtrend, our goal is to do what? To sell. We want the market to keep coming down. So what it means is, in a downtrend, the major move is going to be the sellers. It's going to be the sell move, because the market is coming down. Meaning that the pullback move in a downtrend will not be the buy, because it's the opposite of the sell. It makes sense. Can you help me do the one on the chat box?
Yes, please.
So that's one of the number one characteristics of a trending move. So write this down, sir. Number 2, to determine whether a market is trending or not. Determine whether a market is a trending market or not. We need to analyze on a higher time frame. We need to analyze the market on the higher time frame. On the higher time frame. In front of that higher time frame, now put from 4 hours. From 4 hours. Daily. Four hours daily and weekly time frame. Four hours daily, weekly time frame. So in other words, I won't be expecting you to analyze the market structure of a trend on 1 hour. I didn't mention 1 hour. I said from 4 hours. If you really want to know what the market structure is looking like for a trending market, it's always better, at least the minimum is 4 hours, right? So for the sake of our strategy too, we always work with the 4-hour time frame minimum. Do you understand, sir? So that is what we mean by that. Now, number 3. To trade a trending market. To trade a trending market, comma, you will need to identify the beginning of an impulsive move. You need to identify the beginning of an impulsive move. To trade a trending market, you will need to identify the beginning of an impulsive move. To trade a trending market, you need to identify the beginning of an impulsive move. Okay, to still be sure, I and my guy still on the same page. Remember I said in an uptrend, what's the impulsive move of an uptrend? Buy or sell?
Buy move, uptrend.
Buy, good. So what we are saying now is, for example, we now said to trade it, if you want to trade this trending market, you need to know when an impulsive move is starting. So let's say the trend you are looking at is an uptrend. Your own goal is to know when the buy move is going to start, because the buy is the impulsive move. That's what you want to show. That is the one that is going in the direction of the market. So the next thing now be, how do I know when the impulsive move wants to start, so that I'll know that, oh, I'm buying or I'm selling? So the next point, write down, sir. To identify the beginning of an impulsive move, comma. To identify the beginning of an impulsive move, to identify the beginning of an impulsive move, you need to master how to draw support and resistance. You need to master how to draw support and resistance. Master how to draw support and resistance. Are you there, sir? How to draw support and resistance. So, in other words, if you want to catch the beginning of any impulsive move, you must know how to draw support and resistance. So the next thing now should be, what is support and resistance? I think I've given us that definition before when we're treating ranging market, but for further clarity, let's still write the next time, right? Support is any zone, where buyers have come into the market in the past. Where buyers have come into the market in the past and pushed the prices up. Have you written that, sir? While resistance zone is any area where sellers have come into the market in the past and pushed the prices down. Where sellers have come into the market in the past and pushed the market prices down. So, in other words, if I want to know how to join the beginning of every impulsive move, I must be able to identify an area of support the way we did when we're talking about our ranging market. You know, in the ranging market, I took us on the charts and I made you look at the buy candles. You know, when you see the buy candles happen once, twice in the past, that's an area of support. You mark it out. It's an area because it's not just one price. That was why we had to box it with those two lines we were using. So that's another thing. Now, before we go further, please look at the screen. Can you see? You know, I said when the market keeps making a series of higher highs, that's when we have an uptrend. Why? Look at this, sir. I need you to focus on the screen right now. Look at, there's a point where I wrote HL, higher lows. And there is a point where you have the higher highs. Now notice when the market moves from this first higher low to this highest point, look at that. It's important. That was a buy move. So that was the beginning of an impulsive move. This first move it made from this support. Support is a buy area and went up. That was a buy move. That was an impulsive move because this is an uptrend. Later, when it got to a resistance, remember resistance is where sellers come into the market and push the prices down, is it not? But it's like saying the first time it got to this resistance, it could not go higher. So what happened? They had to rest. That's why we call it a retracement move. You know, when you say something, you're retracing your step. It's like you are turning a new leaf. You understand? You are turning, changing your way. So if you were facing up before, when you are retracing your step, what happened? You face down. And that was why sellers came into the market and pushed this price back down. But because we're in an uptrend, we're still going up. What happened? This market hit another area of support. It went higher. And this time, when it went higher, it even went higher than when the first buy first stopped. So it was because it went higher than this first buy move. That is why we can say we have an uptrend. Because an uptrend keeps making higher highs, right? This buy move went higher than this first one. Look at the next third buy move. This buy move went higher than even the second one. So that's why we say in an uptrend, we keep creating a series of higher highs. The next buy went even higher. It's like going from, imagine that when you're climbing a staircase, you know, when you climb to the next floor, they always do like a covert you can land on, that you can briefly rest on. Have you noticed it before you start climbing the next staircase? So that place of briefly resting before you climb the next staircase is like where the retracement happens. That's why we said another word for retracement move is a pullback or resting move. So each time the market was resting in an uptrend, what it was doing was it was selling. But because you know when you are climbing your staircase and you land on that covert where you rest, are you going to stay there forever? Because you know you are still heading up, is it not? So you don't spend much time there. That's like a landing area. That's why we say in an uptrend, what you want to focus on is also the impulsive move, not the resting move. And that takes us to the last most important point of a trending market. So write this down, sir. Note, only trade in the direction of the markets. Only trade in the direction of the markets. Avoid trading pullbacks. Only trade in the direction of the markets and avoid trading pullbacks. So in other words, what we are saying is, in the direction of the market, remain the impulsive moves. So in every uptrend, my goal is to focus on to buy, to know where to join all the buys. I want to ignore all the sells that happen in this uptrend. Why am I ignoring the sells? Let me explain. Imagine this first time you sold. Probably you sold because the market was at a resistance. They told you sell. You now sell. The next time again, this market was buying up. You got to this resistance. But this time around, the sellers could not push it down. What happened? Buyers broke through it. So imagine someone selling the second time. They would have been at a loss because the market did what? Went higher than where they were selling. So it would have hit their stop loss. Imagine someone was selling at this resistance when this market broke through it. What happened? They would be losing. So because the direction is up, you don't face down when everybody's facing up. If everybody is going from a ground floor to a fifth floor, you can't win against them if only you turn your back and say, no, we're going down. Do you understand? So the trending market, one of the most important things is you want to trade in the direction of the market. So let's write the number 6 points. To master how to draw your trend lines. To master how to draw your trend lines, look for at least 2 swing points. 2 swing points and connect them to each other. This one will go proper into it from next class. Look for 2 swing points and connect them to each other. Swing points. Let me spell it on the screen. Swing. So we say if we want to draw this trend line, we should look for 2 swing points. So the next thing should now be, what is the swing point? It's not what you know it you can connect, right? So write this. A swing point. Next line. A swing point in an uptrend. A swing point in an uptrend is a previous resistance that became support. Is a previous resistance that became support. Is a previous resistance zone that became its support zone. First of all, that's for an uptrend. Next line. Am I going, sir?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Well, a swing point in a downtrend. A swing point in a downtrend is a previous support that became resistance. Is a previous support that became resistance. First up. Are we all there, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, so from our next class, I'll actually explain this concept of swing points, and that's when we'll also be doing the practical. of how to draw a trend. But first, before we go into drawing trend line, knowing what a swing point is, it's important that we have the basic understanding of what a trending market is. So in summary, when you say market is trending, it's not confusing. Anytime you look at the chart and you cannot tell whether the market is going up, is going down, or is even going sideways. Remember, a sideways market is a ranging market, right? So once you see the chart that it's not ranging sideways, then it should either be going up or going down. Except you're looking at a choppy market that we say we don't trade at all. But trading market are not so complicated. Once you look, you see is the direction going up or going down. If it's going up, you're looking at an uptrend. If it's going down, you're looking at a downtrend. Now, irrespective of whether that market is an uptrend or a downtrend, it is important to know that you will find both buyers and sellers in both the uptrend and the downtrend. Why? Because one of them is going to be the impulsive move and the other one is going to be the pullback move. Remember, the pullback is the one that is going opposite of the direction of the market. Why the impulsive or the major move is the one going in the direction of the market. So if you're looking at a downtrend, you are going to find sellers and buyers. And the sellers will make up the impulsive move because it's a downtrend. Sellers push the market prices down. While every buy you see that in a downtrend is actually the pullback. Why? Because it's going opposite of the direction of the market. While if you're looking at an uptrend, the buyers are going to be the impulsive move. While every sell you are going to see in an uptrend is a pullback move. So those are the characteristics that is important to note. And note, never identify a trend. You can't be saying I'm looking for a trend in the market. Yes, you're going to see a trend of 1 hour. You're even going to see a trend of 15 minutes. Every time frame has a trend. But for trading Forex, so that you know the general direction of the market, at least the trend you should do is H4. But I start from daily, right? In fact, weekly. Those are, it's like saying, what's going to happen this week? This week, general is the bigger part, right? So if you want to divide your week, you can now divide your week into days. Inside the day, you can now fix up activity for 4 hours. So the bigger picture is that week, is it not? Compared to what would happen on 1 hour, 4 hours. So if you want to know what's going to happen through your week, you can now break it down into smaller parts. That's why we say you can now start from 4 hours daily, but the overall direction is that weekly. So if you want to check your trend, people go as high as even on the monthly time frame, but never start anything less than 4 hours, right? So and we also said when we are going to be trading, when we start trading a trending market, our focus is not to trade the pullbacks. We want to trade the impulsive. That's our direction. So if this market is uptrend, I won't be selling. Even if I see a selling opportunity, I would only buy. But the buy is the direction of the market. So far on everything we've learned today, do you have any question?
Yes. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm only wondering why. Of course, I know we are looking at a general market outlook.
Yeah.
Only wondering, some people will be, because we are seeing buyers and sellers. Generally, in every market, there are buyers and sellers. But I'm wondering why some people will be selling when the market is going up.
Okay.
Of course, I mean the IMO, the forces of demand and supply. You know, I know maybe the general market structure is all about, like you told us that at the initial stage, that it's about who is stronger, the sellers or the buyers.
Yes.
All right. So we as a unit first trader, what that means is that we are just only following the general pattern in the market, not because I'm just wondering why should somebody want to trade pullbacks when the market is going up, and said there are buyers and sellers in the market. I don't know whether my question is making any sense.
Okay, if I get you, let me be sure we're on the same page. Let me paraphrase your question. You're asking why would someone be selling when the market is buying? Is it not? Or why would someone be buying the market? Okay, first, I don't use the term buying and selling. Remember, I told you that we have both buyers and sellers in any trend, right?
Yes.
But the most important thing is you should buy in an uptrend, because even in an uptrend, let me give you an example. This uptrend I drew on the screen, there is a time market got to a point and then it started selling. So if someone said, oh, because this market is selling now, I want to join the sale, they will still be wrong. They might be right, like, because the market was actually selling at that point. But was that the overall direction? No. The overall direction is facing up. But at that time, this market will not keep buying forever. It's like you running. When you run, you rest. Is it not? So that resting phase, some people prefer to trade it, but does that make them correct? No. It's like saying, I know my car has a fault. The brake might fail anytime, but I will still carry it like that. Anybody who carries a car or drives a car that way, what happens? They are liable to accidents. But if they are lucky, maybe that time they managed and drove that car and there was no accidents, it doesn't mean they did the right thing. It's like you driving on the street of Lagos, for instance, you have your traffic wardens, and last man tells you don't make a phone call while driving. You do it the first time, you were lucky to get away with it. It doesn't mean you did the right thing. Another person can do the same thing and get caught. But whoever gets caught knows he's paying heavily. So if anyone decides to trade against the trend, maybe they were lucky the first time, the second time, any day they get caught, of course, that getting caught is going to be their losses. They're going to lose heavily. Do you understand? It's natural. Human being like to break rules. Some don't even know. Some do it because they don't even know the right trading system. When I say trading, a lot of people used to say there's a general belief, buy at support, right? Sell at resistance, right? So a lot of us were just doing that. We buy at support, we sell at resistance. But as time goes on, the more you get better, you know that markets is beyond buying at support and buying at resistance. Why? Now take a look at this chart. At some point, support became resistance. Remember, I told you that when you're going from a ground floor, on the ground floor, let's say this was the ground floor of this trend right now. This was the ground floor because this was where this move started from. As at the time the market was here, this place was the roof, right? The roof was what was stopping those on the ground. But this same roof was the support to those on the first floor, is it not? Because it was the one lifting those on the first floor. So at some point, the roof of the first floor is also the one supporting those on the second floor. So that is to tell you that support can turn to resistance. Resistance can turn to support as market moves up or goes or continues. So if your own belief is just to sell at resistance, buy at support, what if that time you're selling at resistance is when the market wants to turn that resistance to a support? Then you lose out. You understand? So it's all based on everyone's knowledge. Some people don't even know, but some know that, oh, okay, they're familiar with trade. Like, say, you're going to experience this emotion. Sometimes you trade the pullbacks. There are some pullbacks that are worth trading. I'm not saying it's right to do it. Do you understand? Depending on if it's a major pullback. But everybody knows that if it goes against you, you already know that the state would go sideways. So even if it goes sideways, then it's my loss because I know I did the wrong thing. That was why I use that case of someone driving against the traffic. If you get caught by the traffic police, you know you did the wrong thing. But if you're lucky to get away, it's still your lucky day. Do you understand? So it's let's look at it from that.
I actually answered my question by saying some don't even know. And some, maybe it's a strategy for them. But you have answered the question, I think, because I was just wondering, and you have answered the question. Thank you.
Okay. Some people actually see that as a strategy, but the truth is, any experienced traders know that the best strategies are not the one that go against the trend. Because in reality, who are the people controlling this trend? It's like saying the banks, if they understood the people that play in the forex market, the major players in the forex market are banks, governments,
Banks.
fund managers. Now, we say this market is a $7 trillion market a day. Like a market worth 7.7 trillion is a global market now, money market for every country's currency. Now, let's say one particular bank brings 500 billion to the market. No matter who you are as a retail trader, you don't have that kind of capital. You can't win against such a person. Do you understand? It's like me driving a Toyota Corolla and I want to go and drive against a Rolls Royce. Their engine capacity is different. There are some things I will never be able to do, no matter how good. Do you understand? I am, because of the kind of vehicle I'm in. So the same thing. So the people who determine the trend are actually those big boys. If you remove 100 million from the 500 billion account, they won't feel it. It's like you giving somebody 10,000 when you have 5 million. You will not feel it. But if a 1,000 account, something happens, you will feel it. So that's why I look at such people. You can't win against those big guys. Just join them. So if the big guys are going up, you should face up. You should not face down. You understand? So that's this. Any other question?
Perfectly answered the question. That's exactly the point I wanted to clarify. You are only a good trader, so you follow what the big boys. Yes, I get it.
Yes, yes. So one of the ways to know what the big boys are doing is always on the impulsive moves. That's where you find the direction of the in the market. Okay, so that will be our focus for today. You can just go on to identify the trending market. You could watch the video I sent you. In our next class, we'll now focus on how to draw a trend. We'll identify those swing points. We also said, master support and resistance. So the beginning of an impulsive move, that will be our next focus for next class. And then the subsequent one, we'll now talk about the areas where we need to buy inside of a trend. Where are the areas you buy in the trend? Where are the zones you buy in the downtrend? That will now be the subsequent. But the next class, we align our trends and focus on the draw trend. So in the absence of no question, thank you very much. And if you need any of our classes that are recorded, please always feel free to ask in case you just want to use it for revision and go over them. So, see you.
Thank you so very much. And thank you for. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Beautiful. All right. Bye.
Yes. Bye, sir.